Welcome, new and old friends. My name is 242, and tonight I have something different for you. I thought I'd remind you that sometimes you're the creepy one. Our first tale is about a daughter who just wants to make some art. The second is about a guy hanging out in his van, waiting for his friends. Last, but never least, is about how a ghost story started. So, make sure you're safe before you sit back and listen to these tales. My daughter was somebody's let's not meet. My daughter reminded me about this today, and I thought y'all enjoy a laugh. When my oldest daughter was a freshman in college, she and her friends decided to get into bones. Specifically, they would pick up decaying roadkill, clean the skulls, and make art from them, or sell them. Eventually, they decided to get some fresh cow skulls to clean. They went to a local slaughterhouse and bought 3 cow heads, wrapped them in plastic garbage bags, and put them in the back of their car. On the way to the cleaning site, they stopped at a home improvement store in the middle of nowhere to pick up supplies. 2 people went inside, 2 stayed with the car. After a few minutes, my daughter said, "I think the heads have shifted. I'm going to check them and make sure the bags didn't come open." She got out, opened the hatchback, and the bags toppled out, spilling blood and decapitated cow's head onto the pavement. As she jumped back, she happened to see a lone store employee pushing carts back to the store. And he saw the heads and the blood. He dropped the carts and powered walked as fast as possible to the storefront, just as my daughter's friends came out. "We need to go," she said, and they went with all haste. This was, 7 years ago. I'm sure that poor, traumatized employee is hoping to never meet them again. I was someone else's let's not meet. This was a year ago, but I still tell this story to friends anytime I get the chance. I was the baddie in someone's let's not meet. When I was in high school, I entered a relationship with a very close friend named Ivory. After Ivory and I broke up, we stayed good friends. When Ivory's birthday came around, she asked me to come to her birthday party she was having. The first leg of the evening was at a restaurant I've never been to a few towns over. Afterwards, we would all return to a mutual friend's house for beverages and relaxation. One of Ivory's friends had volunteered to drive us all to the restaurant, but I heard plenty of the stories about her terrible driving. As a result, I opted to chauffeur myself in my luxurious minivan. Yes, I drove a minivan in high school. Ivory's friend told me 7 p.m., so at 7 p.m., my black butt rolled into the parking lot. I called Ivory to let her know I'd arrived, but they were just leaving. I overheard Ivory telling her friends, "If you tell OP 7, he's there at 7. This all meant I had about a half an hour of boredom before I had company. Being the introvert I am, I decided to not go inside and wait like a normal person. Instead, I decided to listen to what angsty music I was into at the time. Moreover, I also didn't park right near the restaurant. The restaurant was located in a plaza, a strip with several other stores along either side. For some reason, I thought it'd be weird for a patron to see me just sitting there like some waiting weirdo. Instead, I parked at the far end of the plaza by the supermarket. I could still see the restaurant, and there were fewer cars on this side of the parking lot. 5 minutes go by, I'm rapidly switching through songs. 10 minutes go by, I'm bored like a piece of pine in woodshop class. Out of the abyssal silence of boredom, I felt the hum of a text come through. Ivory had texted me. Thank God. A brief reprieve from this boredom. As I'm composing a response, I get this weird feeling. You know that feeling of someone is watching you? Like you can almost hear their eyes? I felt something unnerving, so I look up from the glow of my phone and into the darkness before me. What I saw was a family of 4. There was a woman, her husband, and their 2 children. All 4 were looking at me intensely. The woman was standing in front of her 2 children with her hand outstretched as though she was shielding them from a proleptic or probable extreme danger. The look in her eyes was sheer horror, like a waiter had asked her, "Is Pepsi okay?" I have never seen such utter panic so visible on someone's face, and I once had to physically intervene to prevent an armed assailant from attacking someone. The woman slowly crept forward, family inching behind her. She began moving towards the driver's side, closer to me with each step, and with each step, her terror rising. At this point, I'm beginning to panic because I have no clue why this woman and her family are snarling at me so aggressively. Without warning, the husband says something I could not hear through the glass. He extends his arm and points to my left. His wife, children, and I all simultaneously follow his hand. He was pointing 5 spots to the left of my car, where an almost identical one sat. The mother threw her head back in a single burst of laughter as she unlocked her car. This family left the grocery store to find a black teen dressed in all black sitting in their car. He then proceeds to maintain eye contact for what felt like an eternity. My perplexed expression likely appeared as a more sinister one, especially in the lighting. I'm just glad they realized where their car was before anyone got hurt or the police got called. So, family who thought I was in their car at night, I promise we totally can meet. I'm actually a really nice guy who doesn't steal cars. There is an urban legend about a creepy forest ghost. It was me. Okay guys, this is kind of a hysterical story about me being the creepy one. It happened about 11 years ago, but I did not know about the hilarious results of my accidental creepiness until last weekend. I also apologize for the length, but I hope it's worth a listen. You have to know I'm a very small female, 155 centimeters or 5 foot tall, and 43 kilograms or 94 pounds. I am also very pale, and I used to have dark, thick hair down to my butt back then. Basically, if Snow White and one of her dwarfs had a child, they would look like me. My hometown is a beautiful historical spa location at a foothill. It's kinda in a shape of an L with a deep forest in the curve. I always totally loved that forest. It was not only magical, but also kinda deserted. The tourists and visitors of the spa were mostly older people who have no desire to explore the forest, and the local people do not have a reason to go there, as literally nothing to see was there, except for one place. About 3 kilometers from the city center, there was a small decaying castle, or more like a summer residence, Renaissance style. The city council quite reasonably used all the money to keep the historical building in the center in good shape, so this piece of architecture was really kind of forgotten, hence a great place for me. I used to jog there, smoke there secretly, draw, or just have some me time. I also never missed an opportunity to take a shortcut through the forest when I went to my evening drama class, from one end of the town to the opposite one. It was about 7 kilometers through the city center, and maybe 3, 5, or 4 through the forest. I was hardly scared in the forest, even in the dark. For me, it was the safest place ever. But sometimes, when I was there, I started to sing a song loudly, which always helped me. So, Now to the point of the story. One of my classmates organized a tour to a pub after we ended our last year of high school. Legal drinking age in my country is 18, and you usually end high school at the age of 19 here. And invited all of the people she liked and wanted to say goodbye to, as we were all going to be moving out for uni. We had to meet at 9 p.m. and all of us had to have a scary costume, because our teachers always said that we were a horror class. My drama lesson ended at 8:30 p.m., so I did not have time to change myself, but luckily, I was playing an angel in our play, so I was wearing a long, wide white dress. I decided to go as a creepy little girl so I could use the dress. For this purpose, I borrowed my mother's old cloth doll. She made it clear that she is going to kill me if anything happens to her favorite childhood toy. That night went great. We got drunk AF, especially me. Around 1:30, when all the guys, including that strange one with the oily hair, started to look very attractive, I decided to call a ride home, for the well-being of the whole mankind. My classmates just asked me to let them know when I got home safe, and I was on my way. In this, I love everything and everybody, and life is just beautiful, drunk state of mind, I got a brilliant idea. I have already said goodbye to my friends. Why shouldn't I say goodbye to my favorite place too? I got accepted to a uni very far away, so God knows when I will visit this old castle again. Plus, nobody's going to miss me, as my friends thought I was going home. My parents were informed that I'll be coming in the morning at the earliest. So yes, I went to the castle and decided to sleep there as a form of goodbye to the good old times. I woke up an hour later, aching, frozen as a stone, and much more sober. I called myself names for this stupid idea and headed right home, shivering and thirsty and dirty. I was about halfway there when I realized I forgot the effing doll in the castle. Well, I went back to the castle, apologized to Mother Nature for being such a definition of human failure. As I'm getting closer, I start to hear laughing and voices from the castle. When I find a bunch of kids between 15 and 16 years old came out to chill there in the meantime when I was heading home. I was really irritated, as this is my magical safe space and only I'm allowed to smoke a joint here, scumbags. Besides, it's 3:30 a.m. and you're like 5 years old. Anyway, I did not say anything. I just entered the castle and asked, with a very rough voice, caused by a lot of smoking the evening before, "Have you seen my doll?" All of them look at me, horror in their eyes. At first, I thought it was because an adult had caught them smoking weed, and they were scared that I would tell on them and get them in trouble. So I added, "I will not do anything to you if I get my doll." One of the girls pointed to the corner where my doll was, so I grabbed her, and as I was walking out, I noticed a bad and fresh graffiti on the walls next to the door. That made my already irritated soul effing furious. Who do they think they are? Gremlins ruining this beautiful place. I turned to them and screamed at them to leave now and never come back here, and then I stormed into the darkness. Last week, I came to my hometown for the celebration of 700 years since the earliest written record of the town existence. My former high school took this opportunity and published an almanac, which I bought. Apparently, the school asked the students to collect interesting facts about our town and write an article about them, and the school then chose some of them and made them part of the almanac. This is how I found out about the ghost of XX, tragically deceased daughter of the last owners of the summer residence in the woods, is still protecting the building. I asked about this one of my former teachers. She said the girl who wrote this article has an older sister who claims to have seen the ghost with her own eyes. It was looking for its own lost doll and was angry that her and her friends were in her home. Apparently, it had long dark hair and a white nightgown, and it was like this tall, which would fit the description of a dead 12-year-old girl from the early 1900s. I said I call it bull because I practically spent my childhood and young adult years in the residence and I have never... Oh. So that is how my drunk butt ended up as a curiosity in my town's festival almanac. I have heard that many people have actually seen that ghost in the woods since. I hope you enjoyed these tales and they made you laugh just a little. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed these tales, then hit that like button and make sure it feels it. Make sure you subscribe and turn that bell to all notifications. I'd hate for you to miss whatever 42's evil plan is. And come back this Thursday for my day stories. Have a chilling night.